This war has to end. The Russian paratrooper Pavel Filantev voiced his thoughts in a 4-hour interview for civil rights activists of Gulagu.net project. He was fighting on the territory of Ukraine for 2 months, taking part in an assault on Kherson. According to him, in February he allegedly didn't know where he was going and was disappointed that they were not happily greeted in the occupied cities and that he had to buy munitions by himself.
That is, I have got ammunition, my uniform, which I have bought, but I don't have neither knee brace, no body armor, no backpack, no helmet, and I am not the only one. It became clear that something was brewing when we were given ammunition and drugs. Even the command of the regiment didn't know which course we were completing. I saw some captives of the armed forces of Ukraine. I haven't seen any man who introduced himself as he was introduced officially. Pavel Filantev, paratrooper of the Russian Armed Forces, in an interview with Gulagu.net.
According to the paratrooper, he understood that he was an invader only at the beginning of March. He tried to complete his service, but he got home only in several months for health reasons. In his interview, he emphasized that some of the Russian soldiers admire the Ukrainian army feat.
We have had respect for the armed forces of Ukraine, for the fact how the country has come together. Do you know how they say in Russian propaganda nowadays? The truth is on our side. But I can't find the truth. I feel a big respect for Ukrainian soldiers. Pavel Filantev, paratrooper of the Russian Armed Forces, in an interview with Gulagu.net.
Filantev claims that the only motivation Russian soldiers have is money. He says if the Russian army has funding difficulties, then 90% of the army will leave the service the next day. According to military experts, the Kremlin propaganda keeps the Russian army in dugouts. They are afraid to desert and surrender.
An enemy is terrified of surrender, and not only to Ukrainians but also to ill-fated Americans, because they think that some Americans will cut them up for body parts. Propaganda always penetrates, and not only directly, when some propaganda message comes from some media specifically. Here you need to understand that even talking to their relatives, the conditional Russian fighter is under the influence of propaganda.
But in this interception of the Security Service of Ukraine, a call from a Russian soldier to his wife, in which he tries to assure her that Ukrainian army outbest their Russian counterparts.
Украинская армия – это самая сильная армия во всем мире.
Хохлы?
Да, да.
Чего нет?
Ты в это не поверишь, но это да. Это да. Это правда. Это правда, а это правда. Они даже ваших россиян не боятся. Кроме кого.
Ну что-то, когда их берут в плен по интернету, они ссут.
Ты просто не видел.
Они ссут перед россиянами, особенно перед чеченцами.
Самая лучшая армия – это Украина. Это я тебе говорю. Самая лучшая армия – это Украина.
Охренеть.
The Special Operation Forces of the Azov Regiment say that the motivation for the Russian occupiers, if any exists at all, ends in close combat, while showing their successful assault on one of the positions of the Russian army in the south of Ukraine.
When it comes fighting eye on eye, they wrote. They can do a gunfight, but they cannot do it simply morally, because this includes the ideological direction, because we are at home, we are on our land, and they are no one.
In the opinion of the military expert, the majority of Russian soldiers simply don't know what they are doing, but their will to survive prevails, while emphasizing that it is this basic instinct the military leadership of Russia uses.
It is absolutely not saying that the Russian army's morale nowadays is like they can't continue the war. However, I will say that low morale has always been a sign of the Imperial Army, as well as the Red Army and the Russian Army modern sample, because it is very difficult to find motivation in the war of conquest. There is only one goal there: to survive.
The fact that Russian soldiers can't stop the service at their own request, Serhiy Hrabsky says, demoralizes them even more. The only way out is to get wounded or as a result of injury or hurt themselves on purpose. And also there is another way: to die. Regarding such a low morale of their military leadership, it is very unlikely for the Russian army to raise the white flag yet. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Bezdorodska, UATV News.